Alright, today we're going to be taking a look at ways to generate different representations of the same data. So to start out, we're looking at a situation where the height h of an airplane for s seconds from takeoff is h equals 12s, and we want to make a table and sketch a graph of the equation. So here, h is going to equal 12s. That's the equation that they gave us. And it's important to realize that equations show how variables are related. Now here, continuing on, so we saw the equation. Here we have our table. As you can see, at 0 seconds, 1, 2, and 3 seconds are different heights. And it's important to remember that a table identifies values that make a function true. Because if they're not true, you wouldn't put them on the table. And now here is our graph. We can see the separate points and then also a line connecting them all. And here, a graph is a visual, for those of you that are visual learners, of the values in the table. First, we want to look at an example for us to go through. So here we have another table, then we have a blank graph. We want to use the table to make a graph and to write the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and graph those points first. So we have 0, -1, 1, 0, 2, 1, and 3, 2. Now hopefully, when you're graphing these, you notice that they all kind of line up. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line through them. But now I want to write an equation. And if you remember from our practice, here we're going to look at what is our change compared to our change here. So each one on our y is going up 1, while each one of our x's also goes up 1. So our change here would just be 1, so we're going to have an equation of y equals just x. And because we're kind of shifted down, or each value is actually 1 less than the x value, here we just have y equals x minus 1 is our equation. So now it's your turn. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and try this one out on your own. Graph and then write the equation. So first we have 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, and then 3, 6. Hopefully you noticed once again that your points should be lined up. And now we want to write the equation. Start to notice each one of these goes up by 1 again. Each one of these also goes up by 1. So y is going to equal 1x or just x. And then because when x is 0, y is 3, that's our y-intercept, so it's going to be plus 3. Now in this example, we actually have different representations. Here we're going to use the graph to make a table and to write the equation. So we have our graph. We're going to go ahead and make a table. So our x values are pretty easy to pick out. We have 0, 0.5, 1, and then also it looks like 1.5. So we're going to give the y values for those. So when x is 0, y is 1. When it's 0.5, y is 4. When it's positive 1, y is 6. And then for 1.1, it is 8. And now we do want to write an equation. So like it says here on the slide, we're going to look for a pattern. You notice that each number was being multiplied by 2, and then we were adding 2 in the end, and that's true for all of these. So our equation is going to be y equals 2x plus 2. So now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause the video and then check your work. So we're going to make a table again. I'm just going to use the X and Y. Here I have 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then this would be negative 1, 1, 5, and 8. Once again, if we look at that pattern, we start to notice that each time here, that I actually made a mistake, because this X value here for 1 should actually be a 2. And when you do that, we notice that each time we're going up by 3 as our X values increase by 1. So since these go up by 3, it's going to be Y equals 3X. But each of these values, like if I take 1 times 3, I don't get 3, I get 2. So that means I also have to subtract 1. And now here's just one more example for you to try out on your own. We're going to make a table and then write an equation. So we have the order, the X values of negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So when we look at our marks, we notice that they go up by 5 every other, which is kind of a weird. So we're going to get kind of some estimated answers in here. So when we look at negative 1, we can see that our Y value kind of looks like it might be like a negative 4. When it's 0, it looks like it might be 1. When it's 1, it is 5. And when it's 2, it looks like it's 10, but I would say it's 9. So now that we have our points, we're going to go ahead and find our common difference. In this case, it's going to be plus this other one is wrong. It should be negative 1, negative 3. So when you do that, each of these is going up by 4. So your equation should be y equals 4x plus 1.